Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I wanted to talk to you guys today about my favorite eyeshadow palettes. I have literally a drawer that I can't pile any more eyeshadow palettes into. And I was like, what the hell do I own? What the hell do I have? And so I started sorting through all my eyeshadow palettes, and then I'm like, can I get rid of any of these? No. And then I'm like, but I just used this one, but I forgot I had this one, so I pulled it out, and then I was like, now I know why I love it. So yeah, I wanted to kind of review my favorite palettes. I rotate. There may be one or two that I haven't used in a while, but I technically rotate them a lot, and I was like, oh, no wonder. And I have way more, but these are the ones that I use most frequently. So I wanted to show you guys. If you would like to see the eyeshadow palettes that I use frequently and love so much, keep watching. So one that I spoke about most recently is the Naked Smoky palette. What is there not to love about this eyeshadow palette? I mean, it has all these kind of basically smoky colors that you can use and just mix and match, and there's no right or wrong way to use it. They blend beautifully and they're so buttery. They're super pigmented. This palette will definitely give you the best smoky eye of your life, and although this is not a more recent release, I can't live without this one ever since I got it a few months ago, and I kind of got onto the bandwagon a little late. That's on me. I thought I didn't need it, but now that I do have it, I'm so happy I do. Anyone that's getting into makeup now or has been a makeup lover for a very long time is familiar with this palette. Now, the reason why I initially got it was because people kept saying, it smells like chocolate, it smells like chocolate. And I will say, for me, chocolate is life. Anything chocolate, I am in love with. And so I needed to literally run and get this palette like as soon as possible, and I got it before it sold out when it initially came out, and I'm glad that I did. Now, does it smell like chocolate? Absolutely, like cocoa powder. They all smell super delicious, and I do have like the little kind of plastic divider sheet. The only reason why I kept it is because this palette, and this is the one thing that I don't like about the palette, is that it doesn't have names in the back, and then it doesn't have the names in the front, as a lot of palettes do have nowadays. So I didn't want to lose this. Now, I don't know if once they re-released the palette, if they added the names. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into that, but I did want to keep this little sheet so I can kind of keep track of the names and like for tutorial sake and that kind of thing. This is the Perfect Neutral palette. If you want to just grab a palette and go, you can definitely just grab this palette and go, basically. So you have your nice little kind of like coppery and gold tones. They have this beautiful kind of taupey color over here, and then you have your little pop of color. There's like a cranberry color here with some shimmer in it, a purpley one, another kind of like mild purple there. And this is almost like a brownish green type of color. See how pigmented that is? I like this soft vanilla, and then this one, this color down here, which is, what's the name? Champagne Truffle. I've actually used as a highlighter in the past when I've forgotten my highlighter. So this is just an amazing and buttery overall palette, and this is literally the grab and go palette. Here is the Violet Voss Pro palette. This is the Holy Grail palette. And I know that they re-released it, and it has like a holographic kind of casing, so the box is now holographic. This is obviously the original. This is like the OG. When it first came out, it has its mirror, which is amazing. And then you get all these colors. You get 20 eyeshadows, and this here, I mean, I honestly mainly got, I don't know if you guys can see the colors right, I mainly got this palette, not necessarily for the neutral tones, because I already have palettes that have basically very similar colors to these, but these shimmery pinks and cranberries are so nice, and those are the ones that kind of sold me. And then I'm not gonna lie, and I just wiped on my pants, I'm not gonna lie, this color here called Hashtag and Transition are beautiful on the crease, like amazing on the crease. And there's dents on both of those because those are the main ones that I use for the crease, but I've literally used every single color in this palette. Now, all the other palettes that I'm going to talk about, honestly, I'll probably use the majority of the colors, but there's always 2 or 3 that I haven't touched. This palette, I have used every single color. And the formulation on every single color is identical. Obviously, the colors are going to be different, and if there's a satin finish or it's like a shimmery finish, then that's going to be the difference. But in terms of how blendable it is and how it kind of just go on your skin, they're all the same. It's not hit or miss. So if you wanted a palette that you can invest on that you wouldn't regret, I would say this one. A palette that completely pleasantly surprised me is by Juvia's Place, and this is the Nubian 2 palette. Now, the reason why it completely surprised me is because when I initially got it for the price, I mean, it was an amazing price. I think I only paid $20 for this, but I mainly got it because of the pigmentation and how people were saying that the pigmentation is amazing for how affordable it is. And they're 100% right, and this is not some bullshit kind of scheme to get people to buy the products. Like, it's 100% legit. When I received this palette, I was so surprised that it was this big. I honestly thought it would be maybe half the size or a little smaller, maybe 2/3 of the size. So I mean, look how big this is. This is a regular full size. I mean, compared to the Violet Voss, they're literally the same size. They're the same size. This is way more expensive. Granted, that does come with a lot more shadows, but the fact still remains that for $20, hello. Now, you don't get a mirror with this one, but I mean, let me bend this backwards. But I mean, come on now. You're getting 12 full-size eyeshadows, and actually, this almost seems like a jumbo-size eyeshadow. These eyeshadows, I want to say, are about the size, if not the size, of the Makeup Forever pans, the really big ones. So yeah, you're getting 12 of those. When I initially got it, I was like, oh, shit, that's a really big palette. So that's awesome. My investment paid off. And then I literally did this and was like, really? Super pigmented. I mean, let me see if I could, let me do that blue again. I mean, let me see what we can do here. Look at that. For real? For real. For real. Okay, so Mama's gonna take this a little old school here. Anybody who's anybody knows about this palette. And they still sell it. And people are still buying it. Because it's the OG. Like, for real. So I remember getting this palette. And I protected it as much as I could. Some people had videos where their dog had chewed the shit out the box. Their kids went at it with a fork. The kind of suede-ish kind of feeling on the outside, it was just dusty and busted, and so I didn't have kids or a child when I initially got this, and I've kept it protected and hidden away from my boo-boo because I'd like to keep it this way, and it's literally like in mint condition. It's in really good condition. I mean, come on now. This was my first actual real investment in an eyeshadow palette. Like, I remember getting this and I was like, oh my god, this was $50. I was really hoping that I didn't just fall into the YouTube hype, because YouTube does make you buy, well, not YouTube, but YouTubers tend to overhype a product and make it bigger and better than what it really is, and then once you've tried it, you're like, what the fuck is this, right? So I was really hoping that I didn't waste my $50. I was so happy with my investment. Again, I typically gravitate more towards the kind of browns and the coppers and the golds. I have used this pink, and for being an older palette, to be honest, it's still buttery and soft and smooth, and it's amazing. I've actually used the color Sin as a highlighter in the past because, like I said, I couldn't invest in anything. This is my first investment, like real investment. And so, you know, and highlighters weren't a big deal. Like, people were actually using eyeshadows for highlighters because highlighters really weren't a big deal back then. And this is my favorite palette because it was my very first real investment. And it lived true to the hype. It is amazing. The pigmentation is bomb. If I were to lose this palette, I would repurchase it. That's how much I love it. Another old palette but amazing palette is the Lorac Pro palette. Now if you look at it, I've loved it a lot. These have dents in it. Technically all of these up here have dents in it, and the color cream used to be the best color for my brow bone highlight. I was into like the mattes, and I still am. All the ones at the top are mattes, and all the ones in the bottom are shimmery shades. This garnet color is so pretty. This garnet I've actually applied that one as a single color all over my lid and have run out the house, and it's just been amazing. They last all day on the lid. I've actually, before I even found out that there were primers, I've used these eyeshadows as well as the original Naked palette from Urban Decay without a primer, and they would last such a long time. But yes, these are such amazing colors and just an amazing palette, and this is just another one that I will never get rid of, and this is actually my second biggest investment after the Naked by Urban Decay. Okay, so I have a few more palettes to talk about. I don't want to get too into it just because everyone else talks about it. The Huda Beauty Rose Gold palette. Not much to say about this, but amazing. This one's actually going on vacation with me. You have a beautiful gray, brown, cranberry. You have your pinks. Then you have shimmer shades, and you have your glitter. This will cover all my bases regardless of where I am and what the occasion is or what I'm planning to do. So this is a very good investment, and this baby's coming home. This one's going on vacation with me. Another amazing palette is the Tarteist Pro palette by Tarte. You get a full-size mirror, which is like surprising, honestly. I didn't think you were gonna get a full-size mirror, but that's amazing just because you can do one of these. I mean, technically you can use all these colors and just work your way and build them up and create the most awesome and most beautiful look. I'm still surprised at how soft and pigmented these shimmery shades are. This is such an amazing palette, and this was actually a Christmas gift to myself. And last but not least, we have the Kylie palettes. Now I'm planning on taking this one on vacation with me as well, so I'm only taking 2 palettes, and those are the only 2 that I'm going to rely on. You also get a mirror in here, which is why I love it. And then she gives you a brush, which I've used and it's dirty, so I can't show it to you right now because it's somewhere in my little like bin. This palette, the reason why it's going on vacation with me, it has its pop of color. All the other ones has its cranberries and its pinks, and it's kind of like in coppery orangey tones. But this one here covers all bases. You have this pretty kind of lavenderish shimmery color, so that's for one day. You have your coppers, you have your golds, but then you have peaches. You have peaches. And then the blue, I love that she put that pop of color of blue. I really do, because I wouldn't do green. Has she done green? I'm like, that's a turn off for me. But the fact that she put blue, I'm getting into blue now, and it is such a pigmented blue. Such a pigmented blue, and I could definitely see myself applying that in the lash line. And these peachy colors are so in this spring and summer, so I feel like this is the palette that I need to take on vacation. And this is the palette that I'm going to rely on pretty much all spring and summer, just to create those light and kind of spring-ish looks. So amazing palette, and I've been using it a lot lately along with my ColourPop eyeshadows. Okay guys, so that is it for my favorite eyeshadow palettes. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you'd like, leave me some comments down below. I'd love to chat with you guys with regards to these palettes or anything else. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.